Dragon Ball DAIMA Episode 1 has leaked and the details are compelling. This does come from Dragon Ball YouTuber Geekdom 101, so go ahead and take it with a grain of salt, but he has been reliable with information in the past. And that being said, these Dragon Ball scoops do happen to change from time to time. Does anybody else remember when everybody and their mother was swearing that the new anime would be called Dragon Ball Magic, or that it would be a streaming anime? And now it's changed to Dragon Ball DAIMA, and the streaming anime is now going to be airing weekly on Fuji TV. Well, that's because this is in development and things change. So take this with a grain of salt. Either the information is inaccurate or they're just going to change it in development. So, I'm going to be quoting from the Dixerto article. If you want to, you can watch Geekdom's video for yourself to get the unadulterated leaks that are just straight from the horse's mouth. But what I'm going to be doing in this video is I'm basically going to be fact-checking and seeing how this lines up with what we see from the trailer, and giving my own opinion as well of DAIMA. So, we're just going to quote straight from the article. The Dragon Ball DAIMA details come from Geekdom 101, who previously accurately revealed info about the anime before its official announcement, which is true, we talked about this. According to Geekdom, much of DAIMA's first episode was shown in the reveal trailer, and early on in that episode there will be a huge animation shift. Reportedly, the episode will begin with vintage Dragon Ball Z style art and be reminiscent of that classic 90s appearance that fans love, but it'll end up transitioning to look more like modern Dragon Ball Super Broly. Two unnamed villains put a curse on Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, and the rest of our heroes, transforming them into their child forms. However, they're unable to return to their adult bodies by using the Dragon Balls because the curse is from the Demon Realm. This then eventually leads to Goku and Supreme Kai going off to begin the first arc of DAIMA, where they'll go to new locations, meet new characters, and find a way to reverse the curse. Not only that, but DAIMA will also feature blood, something that was mostly absent from Dragon Ball Super. Interestingly, Geekdom further notes that Toriyama is improving the scripts for the series and editing them to keep the show more in line with his vision compared to production issues that plagued Super. So we have a lot to break down in these leaks, and first of all, I want to say this mostly lines up with things that we already know from other leakers or things that we've already seen in the trailer. First, I want to touch on the opening segment where it talked about the art style shift. That can either be from a purely art style shift or it can be from a more story reason. So I want to touch on where it says vintage Dragon Ball Z style, and then it will transition to something more modern like Dragon Ball Super Broly. We know from the animation in the trailers that they're directly adapting Toriyama's modern art style. There are plenty of other videos where they go into more detail on this, like the size of the pupils, the muscles, the anatomy of the characters. It's just more modern Toriyama, whereas Dragon Ball Super felt more like, I don't want to say exactly classic Dragon Ball Z, but it was definitely not modern Toriyama. It was more like, you know, Yamamoto's new style of like basically taking the classic characters, making them look more shiny and things like that. Whereas this is a more modern Toriyama art style that they're adapting for Dragon Ball DAIMA. Now the Z art style, we didn't see that in the trailer, but it's still entirely possible that we do see that. What we do see in the trailer is Goku and Vegeta as adults fighting, and it looks really cool, really flashy. You get your energy blasts, it's probably going to be a good time. And then from what we have also seen in the trailer, well, not a lot of that whenever Goku's a kid, you know? We don't have a lot of Goku blasting things as a kid. He's mostly just using his staff and fighting hand to hand. We know from several interviews performed that this is going to be more adventurous, more Dragon Quest-y, as in more of an adventure RPG type of thing. Goku's going to be depowered. He won't have the power that he used to have, so he's going to be relying on the power pole to basically get by. He'll be using it as a weapon and an extension of his body, just like he did in the original Dragon Ball. So that lines up there. Where it's talking about the art style, I can only assume that that's because they're going to go from adults to kids, and the art style will literally change to accommodate that. The two unnamed villains put a curse on Goku. We've seen that in the trailer. There's two villains, transforming them back into their child forms. These were details that were previously reported way before the trailer was released, but it pretty much lines up with other details. This leads to Goku and the Supreme Kai going off to begin the first arc of DAIMA, One thing I want to touch on is the article specifically says the first arc of DAIMA, and I think Geekdom even mentioned this, where he said that this isn't guaranteed to be a series that goes on beyond the first arc. We don't know if it's going to have a second arc. It could be a 20 episode series, it could be 130, it could be 300. We don't know how many episodes DAIMA is going to have. Again, things change. If it's a runaway hit, they may want to extend it and make it an even bigger hit than it already is. We'll just have to wait and see on that. And so it says meet new characters. That's also something that was reported, that there would be 2 new characters. So that's interesting. It will also feature blood, was what the article also said. We did see a little bit of blood in the trailer from Vegeta on his forehead whenever he was fighting. So that's interesting. We don't know how much blood it'll feature, if it'll just be minor scrapes and cuts like that. But blood was mostly absent from DBS, so that is accurate as well. And then the last part, it says Geekdom further notes that Toriyama is approving scripts for the series and editing them to keep the show more in line with his vision compared to production issues that plagued Super. We've had that confirmed multiple times. I'm pretty sure even at the Comic-Con that Ioku presented DAIMA at, he said that Toriyama was penning the scripts. He wasn't just approving them, he wasn't editing them, he was writing scripts. So he's very involved. And of course, we know from interviews that Toriyama did before his passing, he said that he got more involved than he's been in a while. So this does appear to be his baby. Anyways, guys, that will do it for this video. I just wanted to make a video going over these details. It came out a little bit ago, probably a month ago or something like that, but I wanted to go over these details again just because I found it interesting, and I wanted to basically just get more Dragon Ball DAIMA out there, because if you look at the analytics, the Dragon Ball DAIMA announcement pales in comparison to the numbers that the Dragon Ball Super announcement got. But again, different circumstances. Dragon Ball Super was the first Dragon Ball anime in years, I get it, but I want people to be excited for DAIMA. I want people to be interested in DAIMA, so hopefully you guys find this video interesting, and hopefully this gets you guys interested in these series. Anyways, guys, that'll do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment down below what you thought, and subscribe if you want to keep up to date with all things Dragon Ball. My name is Toon Raider, and I will see you in the next one. Peace off.